Bird Dog's khaki shorts are just like your mother. They'll wrap you up and keep you comfortable no matter where you are. Their zipper pockets will securely hold all your things. They'll fondle you with a love you thought only your mother was capable of. Oh, and don't worry, these shorts won't call you a disappointment. You might even start to love Bird Dogs just as much. If you want to experience motherly love again, hurry to birddogs.com/MLB and buy a pair. They're selling out quickly, but they'll throw in a free Bird Dogs tumbler if you get there on time. That's birddogs.com/MLB.
Life comes with a lot of decisions, and it can be hard to know the right path sometimes. A therapist can help you map out what you really want, so you trust yourself to make great choices and feel excited about the future. BetterHelp offers convenient professional online therapy on your schedule, however you want it, by phone, chat, or video call. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
All right, let's do this thing. Go!
Sports Daily is on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Sports Daily on KFH. A couple of things I think to take away on the Royals. Since mid-June, which is 9 appearances, Scott Barlow has allowed runs just twice in those 9 appearances, once in his last 5. He seems to be, Tommy, getting back on track to some degree for the Royals. So, that's good news. That as far as the trade deadline is probably the most important thing that's going to happen for Kansas City, is that Scott Barlow pitches well up to the deadline, and maybe any other reliever does as well. So that's good news, I think, to take away from the Royals, as he was effective against the Rays again last night. A solid inning, a very clean inning, no hits, no walks, made it through, 3 outs. Here we go.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I certainly have always believed that Scott Barlow can be a really valuable piece for a bullpen, especially for a contender. And the more appearances that he goes out and he's able to keep things clean, I think it shows on a team like the Royals that have such a hard time in general with clean innings, whether you're talking about starters or relievers. That just shows, Scott Barlow can make it happen not only on a bad team, but he can make it happen on a contender as well. So I'm with you. I think that the more that he is able to continue to pitch well, the Royals continue to give him the ball, it's going to make him appealing to a handful of teams that are going to need his services down the stretch.
And don't sleep on Carlos Hernandez, who has 52 strikeouts in 45 innings and a 1 basically whip, which is walks or hits in an inning. I mean, he's as good as anybody on this team. So Carlos Hernandez may be a sneaky name too. So Hernandez and Barlow, I think, will be the 2 guys to pay attention to, at the deadline. Bobby Witt Jr., Tommy, who some thought the Royals maybe should trade now. I don't know if it's better or worse. I think they'd be crazy, which I've made very abundantly clear. And the bust talk we've heard early in the year, I thought was just absolutely outrageous. But over the last month of the season, Bobby Witt Jr. is hitting .310. His slugging percentage is up just under 600. He has 5 home runs, 16 RBIs for a really bad team, right? He's got 20 strikeouts to 6 walks, which is not great, but he's been worse in that category. 6 steals. Bobby Witt Jr. is heating up, Tommy, and really, if you looked across the landscape of baseball and has been probably a top 15 to 20 offensive player, just offense over the last basically month of the season, Bobby Witt Jr. is just fine. I think his development's right on track. He was very unlucky early in the year. I think some of that is leveling out now. And there are still things he needs to work on. He needs to walk more. He needs to strike out less. And he needs to be on base so he can take advantage of that speed. But it's coming for this young player, and I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be a superstar, a perennial all-star, and the Royals just need to chill and hang on to him.
Yeah, the second inning of the game against the Rays yesterday, Bobby Witt Jr. was a big part of. He wasn't the only one. I mean, it really the bats were working for Kansas City early in the game. And as I watched that start of the game, I thought, okay, like this is what we've been waiting for, not only from Bobby Witt Jr., but from this offense in general, an offense that has been much maligned throughout the season and, really hard to find glimpses of hope outside of Bobby Witt Jr. basically. And so, knowing that he is coming around, I know that the term sophomore slump has been tossed around quite a bit with Bobby Witt Jr. I just think that, and I don't know if I'm willing to say, and I think the stats would back up, that it's not a slump. It's just been a little bit of a delayed growth, or not even really growth, but delayed ascension, I guess, with the stardom that Bobby Witt Jr. has. But it's starting to come around, and I think that the longer he's able to get on base, the more he's able to get on base, steal some bases, that speed will just fuel more for him. And so I like where that's going, and I think that will continue.
It's crazy to me, again, like even the thought right now of trading Bobby Witt Jr., like I just still can't make any sense of it whatsoever. Like, what? Because, at some point, like, it's like, what if you get this massive prospect package? Yeah, but so what? Like, you have the guy, the young player right now. Like, you could get a massive prospect package and get lucky if one of those players comes back. It'd be different if he was, nearing a point of free agency and the inevitable was you can't re-sign him and all that stuff. Like, if I'm the Royals right now and I want to, make the fans feel good about something, I take the track record that that they took, quite frankly, with Salvador Perez a long time ago, that the Braves take, that the Rays take sometimes. I go find a way to lock up Bobby Witt Jr. and commit something and say, all right, fans, look, we're committing some actual dollars to make sure Bobby Witt Jr. is here, productive, doing all that. Like, if you want to have a long-term discussion about Bobby Witt Jr., buy out his arbitration years and see if you can't get 1 to 2 years of free agency out of that. That's what I'd be doing if I were the Royals. But the thought of trading him right now makes absolutely no sense. Never has. Certainly doesn't as he plays better. Certainly won't as I think he becomes an all-star every year and one of the top young players in this league.
Yeah, and I think that the more that I've thought about the potential of Bobby Witt Jr. potentially being traded, I understand the thought process if the Royals were to make that move. I don't think that they will. I think it's unlikely that happens. I understand why, but I don't think that for the long-term future of the franchise, that would be a direction that I would go. I think I've shifted on that a little bit because at one time, it wasn't that long ago, a couple of weeks ago, I was saying blow the whole thing up, get rid of everybody, get a whole big trade package back for Bobby Witt Jr. and start to rebuild this thing from the ground up. That being said, and I think that some of it has come from the way that Bobby Witt Jr. has played the last couple of weeks, where I thought, okay, like you can build a team around that. You can build a team that can be successful around the talent of Bobby Witt Jr. So hold on to him. I'm with you. I think that you have to do one thing or the other. You either trade him away and get a haul in return, and I don't think that's the right move, or you lock him up long term. I don't think you can play this middle game where you're just, you're going to go year after year of arbitration. And then, when arbitration happens, a lot of times you get hard feelings between the players and their representatives and the team. I think that you've got to commit one way or another. You've got to commit to moving him out and having a fresh rebuild, or you've got to commit to having him be the cornerstone of your franchise for a long time.
Yeah, just commit. It's fine. The other cornerstone, Salvador Perez forever, apparently hurt his hamstring, legging out something. Salvador Perez is not having the year that you trade him on, quite frankly. That also wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, it'd be one thing if Salvador Perez was having a year like you had a couple years ago and you had to make the tough call. You're not going to get anything for Salvador Perez right now, like realistically, unless you ate all the money. But like, this isn't the year to trade him either because he's not, like, his production's dipped a little bit this year. And maybe that's a long-term trend. I don't know. It's just fine for the Royals. I'll say that. He's still one of the best hitters on this team. But now if he's hurt, I think that's dead on arrival too. And the Royals have said as much. Like, they don't have any intention of trading Salvador Perez,
Yeah.
But let's be real. That's honestly as much about they ain't going to get anything for him as it is they don't want to trade him, which is just fine with me because I'd like to see him stay a Royal forever.
as soon as I saw that he was removed from the game with that hamstring tightness and was considered day-to-day, my first thought was, well, that's one way to ensure you're not going to get traded, is to get injured. And the play that he was injured on, that was a pure hustle play.
Yeah.
He was scoring from first and hustling around the bases, and you love to see that. He looked like he was in some pain as he was crouching down behind the plate, and so they removed him from the lineup, and hopefully it's nothing severe, because this team, we've seen what it's been like when Salvador Perez is on the shelf. And, even regardless of the stats on the field and whether or not he's having a year that would result in him having a good return in being traded, regardless of all of that, you want Salvy's presence there in the clubhouse. And so hopefully this injury is nothing severe. It's a day-to-day thing. You cross our fingers and hope he's okay.
Yeah, I think he will be. I mean, I think long-term he's still got plenty left in the tank. I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer, and I'd just as well see him do it all in Kansas City. So those two names, I think, are going to be off the table. I don't think Bobby Witt Jr. was ever going to be on the table anyway. I don't even know why. Like if the company line is, anybody's available in the right deal, no, they're not. Like the company line needs to be. We're not trading Bobby Witt Jr. Like he's the future of our franchise. We would never do that. That needs to be the company line. Salvador Perez, probably a little bit different, but look, if they're easily the two most interesting players on the team, along with Vinny Pasquantino, who's out for the year. So it's fine. Like those three players can be a part of whatever the future looks like. But a couple relievers pitching it pretty well lately might be the interesting names, I think, to watch as we get closer to the trade deadline with the Kansas City Royals. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. Sports Daily we're just cruising through this Monday. No problems here. 869-1240. The IHOP hotline is open. Let's give away some Wind Surge tickets, shall we? On the way out, you can go see the Surge on us. Call in for a 4-pack of vouchers, which are good. You pick the date to get the tickets. These vouchers work anytime. A 4-pack to see a Wind Surge game of your choice, courtesy of us here at Sports Daily and KFH. We'll do that to the first caller as we make our way out of this segment on the IHOP hotline. We'll come back. We'll tell you who the winner is and get a little more Sports Daily here in on a Monday.
Nationals baseball is in full swing.
Strike three called. He got him looking. That's 10 strikeouts for Mackenzie Gore.
With the free Odyssey app, local fans can listen live all summer long, whether you're at the grill or at the pool.
Going, and gone. Goodbye. C.J. Abrams, a grand slam.
Nationals baseball. Nationals announcers. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app. AUDACY. Get in the game and download it today.